Hi, I am Dr. Sharna Prasad, physical therapist, therapeutic pain specialist, and a diplomat in lifestyle medicine. I have a lived experience of chronic pain. Today, we're going to talk about beliefs and pain stories. For people living with pain, persistent pain, the journey can be long, lonely, and filled with suffering. Many have seen countless healthcare providers, undergone numerous tests, and received a barrage of different opinions and diagnoses. Each appointment carries hopes, fears, and deeply ingrained beliefs. Beliefs that are either validated, dismissed, or reshaped by every interaction. Over time, this constant reinforcement or rejection weaves together a persistent narrative, a pain story. A pain story. Each person's pain story is deeply personal and layered with meaning and unique experiences, encounters, and providers, different providers, their cultural upbringing, and the messages absorbed from the family, friends, and the broader community. Tragically, for many, this journey becomes filled with frustration and hopelessness. They begin to think, what is the point? No one can help me. No one believes in me. I am doomed. How beliefs are formed. Our beliefs about pain are not formed in isolation. They emerge from the knowledge we absorb, the experiences we endure, and the environments we navigate. Healthcare providers play a significant role in shaping these beliefs. Scans, anatomy models, and verbal instructions, while well intended, can have lasting consequences. Being told, don't do this, be careful, or protect your back, your core is weak, can all install powerful narratives of fear and limitations. Take, for example, a client who had back surgery. They were told not to lift more than 5 pounds during recovery, a very reasonable precaution at the time, but no one followed up. When this client came to me 2 years after surgery, they had a newborn baby, excruciating low back pain, and a heartbreaking struggle. They believed they still couldn't lift more than 5 pounds. They sat before me, tears streaming down their face, as they described the anguish of having to ask their spouse to pick up the baby every time they wanted to hold or nurse the baby. A simple call to the surgeon revealed the truth. They were under no limit lifting restrictions whatsoever. This is how outdated and overly cautious advice creates unnecessary fear, limiting not just the body but the spirit. The belief that they couldn't lift their newborn baby robbed them of precious moments, increasing emotional distress and reinforcing pain. And what about the child? Growing up with a parent who is crippled by fear. The power of words. As providers, the language we use matters deeply. Simple statements intended to educate may unintentionally instill fear and negative beliefs. Imagine being told, you have bone on bone in this joint. This is the worst back I've seen in 20 years. Your back is crumbling. Your disc will slip if you bend too much. How do statements like these help? They don't. They simply amplify your pain experience, painting a bleak and terrifying future. I've had clients tell me their physical therapist warned them, don't bend forward or your disc will slip. This is not only untrue, but profoundly damaging. It instills fear of movement, causing people to avoid natural, essential movements. Over time, these distress beliefs become our behavior. A person afraid to bend forward may stop doing so altogether, potentially losing their ability to perform basic daily activities. Or every time they do bend forward, they tense up in fear, increasing their pain. The consequence ripple outward. Decreased movement, lost employment, isolation, sadness, and a diminished sense of purpose. The emotional and social burdens further feed into the pain cycle, creating a downward spiral of inactivity, fear, and disability. I'm going to share with you an analogy used in the pain management booklet that you can download from my website, solace.com. It is the pain parrot. It's a relentless whisper. A vivid metaphor in pain science is a pain parrot, an imaginary parrot perched on a person's shoulder, endlessly repeating the negative messages they've been told. You have bone and bone. You need surgery. Your back is like that of an 80-year-old man. You've had a bad back since childhood. Your core is too weak. That's why you're in pain. No one can help you. You will never get better. This relentless internal bully reinforces fear, convincing people their pain is an unchangeable fate. I once had a patient read about the pain parrot and immediately come back to me and say, I'm going to kill that parrot. I am so tired of listening to it. Breaking the cycle. Compassionate, person-centered care can help an individual rewrite their pain story. It begins with truly listening, not just to words, but to the tone, the posture, and the unspoken words and the pain in their eyes. Providers must be mindful of language, replacing fear-inducing phrases with empowering ones. Instead of saying, you have bone and bone, a provider might say, your joints show normal age-related changes, and there are many ways to improve how you feel. Learning is key. Understanding the science of pain, how the nervous system works, and how thoughts and emotions impact pain, and how the body can adapt and heal can shift beliefs. Encouraging safe movement and gradually challenging fears helps restore confidence in a body's resilience. Above all, it's important to validate each person's pain story, while gently helping them see that it doesn't have to define their future. By addressing the beliefs that hold them back, we help them move towards a life of great ease, function, and joy. So I'm going to tell you a story of a patient of mine. His name is John. And we'll just call him John. His name is not John. John came to me with excruciating low back pain. He had been diagnosed with spinal stenosis. And when I asked him what that meant to him, he said, my spinal canal is narrowed. Eventually, it's going to crush my spinal cord and I'll be paralyzed, end up in a wheelchair, and be alone in a nursing home where no one would like to visit me, like my mother. I understood the meaning of his pain. I did a full neurological and a physical exam. He had no neurological signs. We talked about the signs of pain, how beliefs, emotions, and sensations shape pain. His goal was simple. He wanted to walk to his workshop and do carpentry again. But his pain had taken that away from him. I suggested a small step. Walk halfway to the workshop each day and gradually increase the distance. The next week, he walked back to my office with a frown. What's going on? I asked. And he sighed. I have no pain. I smiled. Tell me what happened. He explained that after he left my office, he told his wife about emotions and sensations affecting pain. She was thrilled. He said, she always says, I don't express my emotions. Later that evening, he shared his experience with his friends who came over for beer. And they said, she didn't even do manual therapy. She didn't adjust your back. And he said, no, you need to get a different therapist. But John thought about what I had said. He started walking. The first day he made it to his workshop and he dusted off his machines. The second day, he turned them on to see if they still worked. The third day, he cut wood for a project he had been commissioned 2 years back. Now, he had cut so much wood and that he had posted it on Craigslist for him to make his benches that he loved making. Since then, I have been in the shop every day and I have no pain. I asked him what had pivoted him. He told me that when I was examining him and had him go on the floor and get up, I had casually said, you are in good shape. And that gave him hope. And at that moment, he realized that he may have spinal stenosis, but he also was not broken. And he was doing okay. He was in good shape. A month later, I had a follow-up appointment with him. And he was a no-show. So I called him and he said, Sharna, I am loading sheetrock right now. I think you need to help other people. I am doing great. John's belief changed through his experience. He was heard, validated, and safe. His pain was real, but so was his ability to reclaim his life. Changing the narrative is a simple exercise, but it's a lot more complicated than we actually make it happen. If you need more support and would like some coaching, you can schedule a 15-minute no-charge discovery call with me down below.